Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Abhishek Mukhopadhyay and with me is R.S. Raghu with the evening news. The headlines. India says safety of its citizens in Afghanistan is topmost priority. 550 people, including 260 Indians, evacuated by the government so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to dedicate renovated complex of Jallianwala Bagh Samarak to the nation at Amritsar in Punjab tomorrow. Over 62 crore COVID vaccine doses administered under vaccination drive in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 97.60%. Delhi schools, colleges and coaching centers to be reopened in a phased manner from 1st of September. President Ramnath Kovind emphasizes on education and equal opportunities for women empowerment. Government to run Know Your Constitution campaign soon, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. Conference of Ayush and Health Ministers of Northeastern states to be held tomorrow at Guwahati. In Tokyo Paralympics, Indian paddler Bhavina Ben Hasmukh Patel enters semi-final of the women's singles, ensures a medal. And in cricket, India trailed by 242 runs against England in the third test in Leeds. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise the young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise the listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. The government has said that safety of Indian citizens in Afghanistan is its topmost priority. Briefing media External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said that India continues to monitor the situation in the crisis-hit country very carefully, and this is an evolving situation.
Our primary focus and continues to be on Indian nationals. I think that was important. We had issued a number of advisories to Indians to leave. Nevertheless, some Indians remained there even after our embassy personnel were brought back. In addition to that, we were able to bring out some Afghan nationals as well as nationals from some other countries.
Mr. Bagchi said government has evacuated 550 people in 6 separate flights either from Kabul or Dushanbe. He said of this, over 260 were Indians. He informed that the overall assessment is that the vast majority of Indians who wish to return have been evacuated.
करीब 550 से ज्यादा टोटल लोगों को लाया गया है. 6 फ्लाइट्स हुई उसमें. ये 550 में से करीब 260 के ऊपर भारतीय नागरिक हैं. इसके अलावा हमारे एम्बेसी के जो लोग काम करते थे काबुल में, उनको भी लाया गया. और इसके अलावा अफगान नेशनल्स जो थे और थर्ड कंट्री में भी कुछ लोग थे. इवैक्यूएशन के लिए हम यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स से क्लोज कोऑर्डिनेशन उनके साथ रहा और बाकी देशों में तजिकिस्तान के साथ दुशानबे एयरपोर्ट से हमने यूज किया और कुछ कंट्रीज के साथ ओवरफ्लाइट और बाकी कोऑर्डिनेशन करनी पड़ी, जैसे ईरान भी है, उज्बेकिस्तान. इससे हमें बहुत फायदा हुआ है.
Mr. Bagchi said the last flight had 40-odd people and reports coming that Afghan nationals were facing difficulties in reaching the airport. The Afghans who are coming to India, MHA has announced e-emergency visas. These are 6-month visas. The MEA spokesperson said India is seeking a peaceful, prosperous, democratic Afghanistan. In Afghanistan, at least 13 United States soldiers among the 85 people killed in the explosions at Kabul airport claimed by ISIS affiliate the Islamic State in Khorasan province. The Afghan affiliate of the Islamic State, ISIS, Khorasan, has claimed responsibility for the attacks. India strongly condemned the bomb blasts in Kabul. New Delhi extended condolences to the families of the victims of the terrorist attack. It said the attacks in Kabul reinforced the need for the world to stand unitedly against terrorism and all those who provide sanctuaries to terrorists. China had condemned the Thursday attacks on Kabul airport and said it is ready to work with the international community to address the threat of terrorism and prevent Afghanistan from becoming a source of terrorism again. In Beijing's first reaction on the suicide bombing outside Kabul airport, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zhou Lijian today said China has requested the relevant parties to take measures to ensure the safety of Chinese personnel. China has kept its embassy in Kabul open and recently hosted talks between the Taliban and its ambassador, while criticizing the US for hasty withdrawal for all the chaos at Kabul airport and at other places.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will dedicate to the nation the renovated complex of Jallianwala Bagh Smarak at Amritsar in Punjab tomorrow evening through video conferencing. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate museum galleries developed at the Smarak. The event will also showcase the multiple development initiatives taken by the government to upgrade the complex. India has crossed yet another milestone in the COVID vaccination drive, with the total vaccination crossing the 62 crore mark today. Union Health Ministry has termed it as yet another achievement in its fight against COVID-19. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has said that the country has administered historic 93 lakh COVID-19 vaccines today. Centre has provided over 59.86 crore vaccine doses to states and union territories so far. The central government has provided the vaccines free of cost. More than 17,64,000 vaccine doses are in the pipeline. The Union Health Ministry said over 4 crore 5 lakh unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and UTs. The ministry said the government is committed to accelerating the pace and expanding the scope of COVID-19 vaccination throughout the country. The Health Ministry in a statement said that the country reported 44,658 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. The country's active caseload is currently at 3,44,899. The ministry said a total of 32,988 patients also recovered from the infection during the last 24 hours, taking the total recoveries to more than 3 crore 18 lakh 21,000. The recovery rate currently stands at 97.60%. Delhi schools, colleges and coaching centres will be reopened in a phased manner from 1st of September. Briefing reporters in New Delhi today, Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said class 9th to 12th will start from 1st of September. Mr. Sisodia said no student will be forced to attend the school and consent of parents is mandatory. He said students and teachers will have to follow all COVID protocols.
1 सितंबर से दिल्ली में 9वीं से 12वीं के स्कूल और उस एज ग्रुप के बच्चों की कोचिंग या उससे बड़े बच्चों की कोचिंग सेंटर्स और साथ साथ सभी कॉलेजेस खोलने के लिए इजाजत दे दी जाएगी और सभी कॉलेजेस खोले जा सकते हैं, यूनिवर्सिटीज खोली जा सकती हैं, सभी कोचिंग सेंटर्स खोले जा सकते हैं, 9वीं से 12वीं के सभी गवर्नमेंट प्राइवेट स्कूल खोले जा सकते हैं। यहाँ पर ये बहुत जरूरी है कि जो भी स्कूल खोला जाएगा, जो भी कॉलेज खोला जाएगा, कोचिंग इंस्टीट्यूट खोला जाएगा, वहां पर सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का बहुत सख्ती से पालन हो और किसी भी बच्चे को बाध्य नहीं किया जाएगा स्कूल आने के लिए।
Mr. Sisodia said online education will continue along with offline education. He said 98% of teachers and staff in Delhi government schools have already received their first dose in the special vaccination drive. Mr. Sisodia said online education cannot be an alternative to offline education. Earlier in the day, the Delhi Disaster Management Authority DDMA has recommended phase-wise reopening of schools in the national capital. Kerala continues to report surge in COVID cases as it confirms 32,801 new positive cases today. A report from Thiruvananthapuram correspondent.
The State Health Minister Veena George informed that people need to be extra vigilant in the face of increasing COVID cases. Minister further assured that there is no cause of concern in the state as even when the COVID cases are on the rise, the number of people who need the help of ICUs and ventilators is comparatively low. Meanwhile, a complete lockdown will be imposed in the state on Sundays with stringent restrictions. The test positivity rate in Kerala had hiked to 19.22%. 179 deaths were also confirmed due to COVID today, taking the death toll to 20,313. 18,573 recoveries were also reported. At present, over 1,95,000 people are undergoing COVID treatment in the state. Mayush Shah for AR News from Thiruvananthapuram.
President Ramnath Kovind has said that providing education and equal opportunities to women is absolutely necessary for women's empowerment. Delivering his address as chief guest at the Diamond Jubilee celebrations of Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey Sainik School, Lucknow, he said the opening up the gates of Sainik schools for women of the nation is a big step towards this. He recalled the historic announcement made by the Prime Minister on 15th August that Sainik schools will be open for girls. He said UP is ahead in taking this decision as admission to girls was opened 3 years back. Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey Sainik School will be the first Sainik school of the country whose girls students will appear in ND exams this year. The President said that the establishment of around 100 Sainik schools has been proposed in the budget this year. Later, speaking at the 26th convocation of the Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate Institute of Medical Sciences in Lucknow this evening, Mr. Kovind said the country cannot reset till every eligible individual is vaccinated. Urging community of doctors to continue to raise awareness about vaccination, the President said masks and social distancing are first line of defense.
I appreciate the untiring efforts of all doctors, nurses, medical students, healthcare and sanitation workers and administrators. You have risen to the challenges and selflessly served fellow citizens. You risked your life. Some of your fellow Corona warriors also sacrificed their lives. The entire nation is grateful to you for your dedication. The battle against COVID-19 is far from over. We must remain on guard against any laxity.
President Ramnath Kovind has appointed Tamil Nadu Governor Banwari Lal Purohit to discharge the functions of the Governor of Punjab in addition to his own duties from the date he assumes charge of the office of the Governor of Punjab. Mr. Kovind also appointed Mr. Purohit to be the administrator of the Union Territory of Chandigarh in addition to his duties as Governor of Punjab. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh today asserted that technology plays an important role in terms of the country's safety and overall human development. He was addressing the event held at the Advanced Technology Defence Institute in Pune. He further said the Defence Institute of Advanced Technology should be recognized as an institute of national importance and expressed confidence that together we can realize the dream of PM to make Atmanirbhar Bharat. Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat today emphasized the pervasiveness of information and pace of technological change is transforming the very character of warfare. He said this is providing innovative ways to execute new forms of warfare in non-contact domain in particular. Speaking at a function in New Delhi, General Rawat said these include information operations, stealing of intellectual property rights, economic inducements, all backed up by clever propaganda and at times even fake news to justify their actions. He predicted in the next 20 years, aerospace and defense will be the key to research and innovation and cautioned the armed forces to be prepared for a changed character of warfare.
All northeastern states are joining hands to promote Ayush system of medicines. In a significant step, the Ministry of Ayush is organizing a conference tomorrow in which Ayush and health ministers of all the northeastern states are participating. Ayush Minister Sarbananda Sonowal, MOS for Ayush Dr. Munjapara Mahendra Bhai and Himanta Biswa Sarma, Chief Minister of Assam, along with other dignitaries will grace the occasion. Northeastern states have been blessed with natural resources and traditional practices which contribute to the core strengths of Ayush systems of medicine. In this regard, it is felt that Ayush systems can be efficiently mainstreamed and can become more popular in the northeastern states. Already Northeastern Institute of Ayurveda and Homeopathy NEIAH at Shillong has been functioning as a national institute for Ayurveda and homeopathic education. In order to promote electric vehicles in the country, Minister for Power R.K. Singh has written to all union ministers and chief ministers to join Centre's initiative on transformative mobility. He urged them to advise their respective ministries and departments to convert their fleet of official vehicles with present internal combustion engine, petrol and diesel vehicles to electric vehicles. Power Ministry has said that such an action is expected to set an example for the general public and encourage them to switch over to e-mobility. The initiative is part of the Centre's ongoing Go Electric campaign to promote electric vehicles. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. India says safety of its citizens in Afghanistan is topmost priority. 550 people, including 260 Indians, evacuated by government so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to dedicate renovated complex of Jallianwala Bagh Smarak to the nation at Amritsar in Punjab tomorrow. Over 62 crore COVID vaccine doses administered under vaccination drive in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 97.60%. Delhi schools, colleges and coaching centres to be reopened in phased manner from 1st of September. President Ramnath Kovind emphasizes on education and equal opportunities for women empowerment. Government to run Know Your Constitution campaign soon, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. Conference of Ayush and Health Ministers of North-Eastern states to be held tomorrow at Guwahati. In Tokyo Paralympics, Indian paddler Bhavina Ben Hasmukh Bhai Patel enters semi-final of women's singles, ensures a medal. And in cricket, India trailed by 238 runs against England in third test in Leeds. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
भारत के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में अनगिनत स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी। कुछ इतिहास में अमर हो गए और कई गुमनाम। आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत 75 कड़ियों की श्रृंखला में हम उन वीरांगनाओं की बात करेंगे जिनका योगदान कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। प्रत्येक मंगलवार परिक्रमा में सुनिए अपराजिता, देश की वीरांगनाओं को आकाशवाणी का सादर नमन।
Welcome back. You are listening to the evening news. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur and Culture Minister G. Kishan Reddy inaugurated an e-photo exhibition on making of the Constitution and virtual film poster exhibition titled Chitranjali at 75 in New Delhi today. After the inauguration of the exhibition, Mr. Thakur said, the Indian Constitution helps us to know about our rights and duties. He said the government will soon launch programs like Know Your Constitution and work towards to promote the salient features of the Constitution. He said the e-exhibition is in 11 regional languages and is a unique collection of photographs comprising milestones with videos, speeches and interactive quizzes for public participation. Talking about the Chitranjali at 75 exhibition, the minister said cinema is a reflection of a society and Indian cinema has played a vital role in the depiction of society and to take the message of reform to the public.
आज के युवाओं के बीच में जब भारत आजादी के 75 वर्ष मना रहा है तो हम उनके बीच में ई फोटो एग्जीबिशन लेकर जा रहे हैं ताकि वो जान सकें संविधान बनाने की प्रक्रिया क्या थी और कहीं ना कहीं हमारे आज के युवाओं को न केवल संविधान को पढ़ने का, समझने का, जानने का अवसर मिलेगा, संविधान में उनके लिए अधिकार क्या है, जहां एक और वो अपने अधिकारों को जान पाएंगे वहीं पर उनका कर्तव्य क्या है, शायद इस भाव को जगाने का अवसर भी मिलेगा।
Speaking on the occasion, Mr. G. Kishan Reddy said Prime Minister Narendra Modi wants that Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav should be a people-led movement. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting Dr. L. Murugan, Minister of State for Culture Arjun Ram Meghwal and Meenakshi Lekhi were present during the event. As part of commemoration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the Information and Broadcasting Ministry is celebrating the week of 23rd to 29th August as the iconic week. Under this, various activities and programs have been carried out throughout the country by the various media units of Information and Broadcasting Ministry. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur today presented the first copy of the book titled Reflecting, Recollecting, Reconnecting to the Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu. The book chronicles Venkaiah Naidu's fourth year in office as the Vice President of India. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu suggested the elected representatives and public figures to present a report card to the people every year. He said it is the duty of elected representatives to communicate to the people as to what they have done.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as Jan Utsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz will be conducted on every Monday and Tuesday in Morning News till 15th of August 2022. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News.
आजादी के 75 वर्षों का पर्व अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर आकाशवाणी समाचार लेकर आ रहा है अमृत महोत्सव क्विज। आप भी इस क्विज का हिस्सा बन सकते हैं। हमारे समाचार बुलेटिनों में पूछे गए स्वतंत्रता आंदोलन से जुड़े प्रश्नों का जवाब देकर। आपसे ये सवाल प्रत्येक सोमवार और मंगलवार को सुबह 8 बजे प्रसारित होने वाले बुलेटिन समाचार प्रभात में पूछे जाएंगे। विजेता का चुनाव ईमेल पर मिले सही जवाबों में से लकी ड्रॉ के माध्यम से होगा और इसकी घोषणा अगले दिन इसी बुलेटिन में की जाएगी। विजेता को प्रमाण पत्र के साथ एक उपहार भी दिया जाएगा। साथ ही विजेता का नाम हमारे ट्विटर हैंडल पर भी फ्लैश होगा। तो आइए मनाएं आजादी के 75 वर्षों का पर्व अमृत महोत्सव आकाशवाणी समाचार के साथ।
Now let us listen to our special program Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
The year was 1942. On 8th August, during the Bombay session of the Congress, Mahatma Gandhi decided to demand complete freedom and gave a call to the British government to quit India. The very next day, all the important leaders of Congress were arrested or went underground. There were mass protests throughout the country. Most spent years in prison and out of contact with the masses. And during this time came into action the secret radio of the Congress. It was an underground radio station which operated for about 3 months during the Quit India movement.
It was the broadcasting mouthpiece of the Indian National Congress and functioned from different locations from Bombay. This very important task was executed by Usha Mehta. The veteran freedom fighter accomplished the task with the help of ham radio operators. On 27 August 1942, the secret Congress radio went on air with Dr. Usha Mehta herself broadcasting this announcement. This is the Congress radio calling on 42.34 meters from somewhere in India.
I was connected with the underground Congress radio in Bombay. Of course, what we used to say was that this is Congress radio broadcasting from somewhere in India, but really we were operating it from Bombay.
Usha Mehta's other associates for organizing the Congress radio included Vitthal Das Khakar, Chandrakant Jhaveri and Babubhai Thakkar. The technicians and the equipment were supplied by Nanak Motwani of Chicago Radio, Mumbai. Eminent personalities like Ram Manohar Lohia, Achyut Rao Patwardhan and Purushottam Tikamdas were also associated with the Congress radio.
Immediately the call was given by Mahatma Gandhi to do or die. We thought it would be better if we have a broadcasting station of our own, because a transmitter certainly is the best way of giving the news about freedom struggle to the people and reaching it to every nook and corner of the country. So we thought of organizing a secret radio station.
On this day in 1781, Hyder Ali of Mysore clashed with the forces of the British East India Company at the Battle of Polilur. The forces under Hyder Ali endured many casualties from the British but eventually retreated to Kanchipuram. The Battle of Polilur was fought as part of the Second Anglo-Mysore War between the English forces and the Kingdom of Mysore under Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan from 1780 to 1784.
The Second Anglo-Mysore War ended with the Treaty of Mangalore, with both the parties agreeing to return the captured territories and prisoners to each other. Mysorean rockets, the first iron-cased rockets, were effectively used against the forces of the British East India Company by the Mysore army during this battle.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
In the latest rankings of top cities in India, where All India Radio live streams on News on AIR app are most popular, Mumbai, Delhi, NCR and Jaipur have gained in the rankings. In major changes in rankings of top AIR streams in India, AIR Kodaikanal has slipped to its previous 10th position after having risen to the 8th spot last fortnight. AIR Kochi FM Rainbow and FM Rainbow Delhi have both moved up a notch. Minister of State for Home Ajay Kumar Mishra has said that government is committed to the welfare of freedom fighters. Chairing the meeting of the Committee of Eminent Freedom Fighters in New Delhi today, Mr. Mishra emphasized that government is taking all possible steps to provide them the best of facilities. He said freedom fighters participated with full dedication in the freedom struggle and the nation can never forget their invaluable contribution. Mr. Mishra said the country is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav in the 75th year of India's independence. Veteran freedom fighters from across the country attended the meeting. During the meeting, Mr. Mishra also honored the freedom fighters.
In Tokyo Paralympics, Indian table tennis player Bhabina-Ben Hasmukhbhai Patel has entered the semi-final of the women's singles after a 3-0 win over Serbia's Borislava Perić-Ranković. Bhabina has ensured a medal for the country. In the men's individual open compound round of archery, Rakesh Kumar stood third while Shyam Sundar Swamy ranked 21st. In powerlifting, Sakina Khatun finished in the 5th position in the final. In cricket, India were 123 for 2 in the second innings against England on day 3 of the third test at Headingley, Leeds when reports last came in. India was still trailing by 231 runs. Earlier, the visitors picked up the remaining 2 wickets early on day 3 to bowl out the host for 432 runs as they conceded a 354-run lead in the first innings. India was skittled out for 78 in the first innings. England skipper Joe Root continued his fine run with the bat in the series as he brought up his 3rd century in 3 games. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi is likely to have partly cloudy sky, while Mumbai will have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Chennai and Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Jammu, Srinagar, Leh will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm, while Muzaffarabad will have thunderstorms. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Aizawl, Kohima, Itanagar, Gangtok and Agartala will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Visakhapatnam, Bangalore, Thiruvananthapuram and Puducherry will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. India says safety of its citizens in Afghanistan is topmost priority. 550 people, including 260 Indians, evacuated by the government so far. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to dedicate renovated complex of Jallianwala Bagh Samarak to the nation at Amritsar in Punjab tomorrow. Over 62 crore COVID vaccine doses administered under vaccination drive in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 97.60%. Delhi schools, colleges and coaching centers to be reopened in a phased manner from 1st of September. President Ramnath Kovind emphasizes on education and equal opportunities for women empowerment. Government to run Know Your Constitution campaign soon, says Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur. Conference of Ayush and Health Ministers of Northeastern States to be held tomorrow at Guwahati. In Tokyo Paralympics, Indian paddler Bhabina-Ben Hasmukhbhai Patel enters semi-final of the women's singles, ensures a medal. And in cricket, India trailed by 230 runs against England in the 3rd test in Leeds. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.